Hello reformers and welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance, and when we left off we just arrived in Talmberg, and let me just say that a number of you decided to let me know about, oh yes, we are apparently hungry as I thought, but yes, a number of you decided to let me know that unfortunately I was unable to save Teresa. Now I had no idea that you could actually do that, first off, and the second thing is, the tooltip, you know that tooltip that came up? I saw it in editing actually, but the tooltip that actually came up as it was teaching us about horse whistling and being able to call your horse with X, well, it then continues on and it says other things like you can use whistling to distract certain enemies and things like that. And I didn't read that, obviously, because at the very top of the tooltip it says, press X to whistle for your horse. And I thought to myself, oh, okay, so the rest of the tooltip is just going to talk about that. Yeah, anyway, that's the reason why I was unable to save her, because, again, the tooltip, well, I didn't read all of it, which is a bit of a shame, but that is to be expected. I did not leave her on purpose. That's just, you know, what we're going to say there.
You've done well, lad. I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm sorry about what happened to you.
You must be all done
It's
in.
no excuse
Why don't
for
you go to the
rudeness.
kitchen and have a good meal? Sorrow is easier to bear on a full stomach.
Ah, Milady. You are fortunate our good lady Stephanie of Talmberg has graced us with her presence.
My lady, I'm honored.
So this is our brave young man. Welcome, lad. Bozhena here will take care of you. No doubt you're tired and hungry.
Indeed. How could he not be, poor soul? After everything he's been through, he must be as hungry as a bear, aren't you, young master? Here you are, then. Eat your fill.
And a little wine to wash it down.
Thank you, my lady.
When you're done, you can go and rest with the grooms in the Outer Bailey.
No, that won't do, Sir Robard. After all he's been through, he deserves a proper bed. Let him sleep in a lodge in the courtyard.
Certainly, Milady. Young Henry here is overwhelmed by your generosity.
Yes, thank you, my lady. May God reward you for your kindness.
Eat up now. You're in capable hands, so I'll leave you to it. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, man.
When you've done, you can sleep in the bedchamber of the courtyard lodge. And don't forget to take off those filthy boots before getting into bed.
Well, I'll try my best. Anyway, it's not wise to ignore hunger. The longer Henry doesn't eat, the weaker he gets. If he fasts long enough, he can even die. Different foods have different properties. For example, an apple won't fill you up like a roasted duck, but it will stay fresh for longer. Some foods can be effective for healing as well. Lentil mash.
Must eat.
And we can take some bread rolls as well. Oh, that's pretty nice. Okay, so let's go in here, and we're going to be eating this. Oh, this is going to give us 100. Am I actually going to... Yeah, there we go. Eat it. There we are. Okay, so... Wait a minute. Is this wrong? Oh, no, that's the condition of it. Ah, okay. I thought the heart actually indicated how much nourishment it actually gave you, but okay, my bad. My bad. All right, so... How much is it actually going to give us then? It doesn't seem like... Oh, these bread rolls are giving me a good amount of nourishment. That's pretty nice. Okay, there we go. I ate a little bit. Oh, roast duck. Oh, yes. Let me take some of these. Thank you very much. I wonder if I can... Can I take all of this? Am I allowed to take all of this?
What in heaven's name happened there?
Oh, nothing. Nothing that you need to concern yourself with. Thank you very much. But yes, I'm going to be taking absolutely everything. Don't watch me. Don't watch me. This is not for your eyes. I am literally the worst kind of person. I'm literally just going like, oh, I'm going to steal all the food. Well, technically it's not stealing, I suppose. Alright, so let's just continue to eat some things. I should probably eat the roast duck, shouldn't I? Is it actually good? Whoa, yeah, the roast duck's really good. Okay, so my nourishment is now at 101. My energy is at 16. I'm not entirely sure how I get that up. Probably resting in bed. Oh, you've eaten too much. You won't get hungry for a much longer time now, but you'll be heavy-handed and clumsy until you digest everything. Oh. Well, amusingly enough, if you take a look at my nourishment, it's at 101, so if I went to 99, would that mean that I wasn't eating too much? Maybe. Anyway, let's go and get a bit of a rest, shall we? And so we need to get into one of the lodges, don't we? So if I can get around there, that would be great. Oh, I'm kind of phasing in and out of consciousness almost here. It would probably make sense to get into a bed. Wait a minute. Why am I up on the battlements right now? This is not good. Let me go back down here. It's probably this way, let's face it. If you are tired, your stamina and eloquence will also gradually decrease. Sleep is the solution. Find an available bed, which you'll recognize from the icon on the compass. Sit on it, and then and then sleep, obviously. There we go. Alright, so we're going to do that, and, well, we'll let all of our wonderful food digest while we snooze it off. How long do you want to sleep? Alright, so this actually does have an effect as well on your comfort and nourishment and energy and all that sort of thing. So as you can see, your nourishment goes down. I'm just gonna go for 8 hours, I guess. 8 hours. That seems pretty decent for the energy levels. And let's actually see what happens. I'm actually wondering if you're gonna get woken up by something.
Today the patrols will be doubled. Keep your eyes peeled. If you see anything out of the ordinary, report it immediately. Understood? Yes, sir.
Yes?
It is I, Henry. Forgive the intrusion. I didn't wake you, boy, did I?
My lady, No, not at all. But what brings you here at this hour?
I thought you could do with a little wine. It's just what you need to help you sleep.
My lady, thank you. You really shouldn't. You could have sent a servant.
I was going to, but to tell you the truth, I couldn't sleep either. I thought of you while saying my prayers. How awful it must have been for you. I came to offer you solace, to let you know you're not alone.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
You're welcome. Now, Henry, I know this is all very new and strange for you. But I want you to feel at home here. You're not to worry about anything except getting better. God knows you've been through a terrible ordeal. I know what it is to be left alone in the world, although your loss is much greater. But with God's help, the pain will ease in time. And it can help to talk about it, if you feel like it.
You might be right, my lady. I'll tell you what happened. It was terrible and unexpected. The day started just like any other. Father sent me into town on some errands. A fellow by the name of Kunnish owed money to Father, who sent me to collect it from him. Only Kunnish had no intention of paying. It got a bit heated, as often happens when there's money involved, but Kunnish still wouldn't cough up the coin. Father was too generous for his own good, letting even a scoundrel like that buy on credit.
Oh.
When I'd done all the errands, I headed back home. I promised Father I'd help him with his work, and I was looking forward to it. He was forging a sword for Sir Radzig. Father and I always chat in the forge. On that particular day, I asked him if he'd teach me swordsmanship. He said no. He said it's better for a man to keep his head on his shoulders than lose it over some pointless heroism. If only you'd known what fate had in store for us.
Oh.
But Sigismund's horde was already on the horizon, ready to attack the town. A horde of soldiers was amassed. Pennants flapped in the wind, the armour glinted in the sunlight, and the horses whinnied impatiently. They were waiting for Sigismund to give the command to attack.
How awful.
And then death descended on Skalitz. The gate to the castle was open. The bells and horns sounded the alarm, and the villagers ran to the castle to take cover. They were carrying the few possessions they could grab in haste, and I saw the terror in their eyes.
I can't even imagine how awful it must have been.
I ran to the castle like our neighbours to take cover, but I didn't make it. I had to find another way to save myself. The men on the battlements called down to me to flee to Talmberg and warn you. I was lucky I knew a concealed path around the castle. I wasn't safe yet. The Cumans were going from house to house below the castle, looting and then torching them. They encircled the castle, and it was clear they could spot me at any moment.
May God punish them.
Then I heard a scream. It was Teresa, the mill wench. She'd been caught by a gang of Cuman savages who planned to violate her. I wanted to help her. God knows I wanted to, but... Even though I had the sword we made for Sir Radzig, they had me outnumbered and they were well armed too. I only just managed to grab one of their horses and ride off. I couldn't help her any more than I could have helped my parents.
It wasn't your fault.
I'll never forget the horror. It will haunt me for the rest of my life.
That's terrible. How could something like that happen?
God alone knows why he lets such things happen.
Oh, you poor boy. I understand your grief, but God is not to blame for the ills of this world. That is the work of Satan and those who do his bidding. Those who are corrupted by greed, envy, and pride. You must not lose faith, whatever life brings. Fate has not been merciful to me, and my husband either. Although in comparison to the horrors you went through. I was young when I married my husband. It was my father's wish. Divish was a lot older than I, but a woman must bear her lot. Shortly after our marriage, before I even got a look at Talmberg, the castle was stormed and my husband was imprisoned.
Really?
My husband had some quarrel with Sir Havel Medek of Valdek, who decided to resolve it by force. He stormed the castle, burned down the village of Pribyslavitz, and killed many of our men, even the old chamberlain. He imprisoned my husband in the castle and put his own garrison there.
That's awful.
I was barely 18 years old, and all of a sudden, I was left alone with Sir Robert. We didn't know what to do. We went to Prague to appeal to the king and sought help from Divish's friends, but all to no avail. We tried for years, but it seemed I was destined to be left alone and my husband to rot in jail in his own castle.
Years, you say?
7 years. That's how long it took before Havel was condemned as an enemy of the crown. And even then he refused to surrender the castle and release my husband. In the end, I raised the money to pay a ransom, and only then, by the grace of Lord Jesus, did I finally lay eyes on my husband once more.
7 years? And was Havel punished for it?
Never. And after 7 years, my husband returned to me an infirm old man.
Sir Divish seems like a good, strong man.
Certainly, only he has many concerns. He had to rebuild Talmberg. After he was released, the king appointed him Burgrave of Prague Castle, and he was very busy. He had no time for me at all. But at least we were in the city, and there was something going on. And now, we're here.
My lady, you're still young and beautiful. Your best years are still ahead of you.
Would that that were true, lad. Would it were true. But what am I doing bothering you with this? You have troubles enough of your own. I'll go and let you sleep. I enjoyed our little talk, Henry. Good night, and God bless.
Good night, my lady.
Henry, wake up. You don't want to miss this.
What is it? What's happening?
Come to the battlements. One of our patrols reported a company heading here from Skvelt.
So there we go. We did actually get confirmation that Teresa was attacked, but again, how are we supposed to know that when you're playing this blind like I am? How are you supposed to know? Anyway, how am I, there we go. Open this. This is very dark. I literally cannot see anything. Alright, so can I go up the ladder? No, I'm not going to go up the ladder. I'll just go around the side, I suppose. And I suppose we need to go around this way, like I did beforehand by mistake. Yeah, that seems to be the case.
All they have to do is lean on some Skvelt serf and he'll happily tell them everything.
You're right there.
Listen up. If it's Sigismund and his army, prepare for the worst. But don't be daunted by their numbers. Heed my commands, and all will end well.
What's going on?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Why would Sigismund advance on Talmberg in the night? Especially since he's lost the element of surprise after the raid on Skvelt.
Maybe it's not him.
Then who is it? The scouts Divish sent to Skvelt to spy on Sigismund said he'd set up camp and was getting ready to storm the castle. And so Radzig is an experienced soldier. He'd surely hold the castle for quite some time. It doesn't make sense.
What else did the spies see?
Not much of anything. Before they could get close enough, this huge storm started. And you were right. Sigismund has a hell of a lot of soldiers, including all manner of mercenaries. An army like that costs a fortune. Well, anyway, we'll find out when they get here, won't we?
Aye, we will.
Halt! Who goes there?
Lucifer and all his minions! Who else, Robert?
Sir Radzig! What a relief.
Is his lordship there with you?
Yes, sir. He is right here.
What are you doing up so late, Divish? At your age, you need a good night's sleep.
Well, Radzik, you didn't exactly pick the best time for an outing either. In a big hurry?
It was a bit of a scramble, all right. Believe it or not, this tempest is a godsend for me and my men. As my old granddad used to say, better a sore throat than a slit throat.
I'd say your grandfather was a wise man. Your messenger told us what happened.
Messenger?
The lad you sent to warn us.
He's alive? He made it to you?
He's here with me. He only got away by the skin of his teeth, though.
Thank God.
A brave young man. But tell me, friend, how on earth did you manage to get away?
Thank God for this tempest. When it began, Sigismund's Tatars crawled into their holes and left us storming the castle for more clement weather. We were able to sneak out right under their noses. The Lord be praised. We wouldn't have stood a chance against them.
Would you like to spend the night in Talmberg?
No, no. When Sigismund finds the castle empty tomorrow, he might come looking for us. We'd only be exposing you to danger. Without me and my men, he has no call to attack you.
What will you do then?
We'll march to Ratai. It's only a short way, and there we'll have a better chance of defense and enough room for all of these people. If Sigismund should come, better bend your knee, Divish. There's no point dying in a battle that's futile.
You're right there.
Is that boy still with you?
I'm here, sir.
You have courage, lad. That I can't deny. I am sorry about what happened. Would you care to join us?
I'd like to, sir, but first I have to return to Skalitz.
Are you mad? What do you want there?
I can't leave my mother and father. I won't leave their corpses rotting in the street. I'll join you once I've taken care of them.
Don't even think of going back there, you donkey. Are you tired of living?
But sir...
Quiet! I'm sorry about your father, but getting killed as well won't help him. Divish, make sure that lad doesn't budge from Talmberg until things quieten down.
Not to worry, friend. Anyway, he's injured and needs to recover. I'll lock him up here as if he were Havel of Baldic.
I've seen you've grown a thick skin since your tribulation, sir. But thank you. We'll meet again when circumstances are more favorable. Farewell.
Farewell, friend, and good fortune. Give my regards to Sir Hanush.
I will, and good luck to you and your people too. These are dark times. Move out!
Anywhere, people! Move out! It's only a short way to Ratai now.
Men, tonight we'll have triple patrols. Sort out the watches between you as always.
What is it you need?
I could use an extra pair of eyes, and yours are keen. Will you keep watch on the battlements with my men?
Is that a request or an order?
I'd rather it was a request you answered yes to.
Of course I'll help. I have to pay you back somehow after all you've done for me.
Splendid! And don't worry, I'll tell the men to relieve you later.
Alright, so it seems like we're on guard duty right now, so what do we have to do? Keep watch on the battlements, that is literally it? Okay, I am having a bit of difficulty thinking about what I should do and where I should go, but I suppose we'll find out exactly where to go in the next episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.